All right, good.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is Luke from IT. We've got a little demonstration for you here today. We've got some big news coming. We've got a brand new MDM solution, mobile device management. We've got a video we're going to set up for you today, and hopefully the video will help you so you can see exactly what the process looks like. We're going to cut through we're going to cut a few shortcuts just so there's not a waiting period. I'll tell you more about that when we get to those points. A couple of things to start off with. When clinical staff bring the tablets into the office for you to do this, the tablet must be above 80% charge, and you must have it plugged up the first thing, because the first thing the new MDM is going to require you to do is encrypt the tablet. So the first thing you need to do, they'll bring their old tablet in, which is configured with Zen Mobile or Secure Hub, as you guys may know it. They'll need to have it fully charged, 100% if possible. 80% is the minimum to require for encryption. First thing you'll need to do when they bring it in is make sure all data is cleared from it. That means all documentation from Point Care needs to be done. They can't, if you do the factory reset and the documentation is not done, then they will lose it. So after you factory reset it, you'll come to this welcome screen. You'll tap next. If you're at the branch, you may or may not get this error. This tablet does not have cellular service on it, so we're getting this activation issue. You may or may not see this. If you do, don't worry about it. Just skip it. If you don't worry about it as well. We're going to hit next on that. I don't think you'll see it because the tablet will actually activate. It's going to ask you to set up a Wi-Fi. That's fine. We're going to choose Alicare Wi-Fi, and we will send you the code for this. Go ahead and let that connect. It may prompt you, if it hasn't ever been connected, it may prompt you to sign in with username, ID, and password. You can use yours if you'd like. You can use the clinician's as well. Either one is fine. Give this just a minute. It'll finally say connected. I've already done this one before, so it's not going to prompt me for the splash page. If you've never connected that tablet to Alicare Wi-Fi, you might see the splash page, so it will automatically do that for you. Don't worry. If it doesn't, you guys do have cellular on these devices, so you may not need the Alicare Wi-Fi connection. If you can, that's better. If not, it's okay. So once it says connected, we're going to hit next. It'll go through this process, checking for updates. No worries, this is normal. All right, so one of the things that's going to be different about this new MDM platform, we are going to sign in to a Google account. Excuse me. But it is a little bit different. We're going to be utilizing a function that Google has created called Android for Work. Essentially, it allows you guys to sign into the Google account without needing a username and password. On our end, we approve the apps and programs that you can download. So you will have access to the Play Store, but if you go to the Play Store and try to download Angry Birds, for instance, it's not going to be available because we haven't approved it. So on the Google account where it says sign in, you're going to tap here where it says email or phone, and you're going to type in AFW. You're going to use the hash mark, and then you're going to type in MAS 360. And MAS 360 is the name of the new MDM that we will be using. It's from IBM. And just in case you can't see that, it's AFW hash mark MAAS 360. And after you put that in, make sure it's spelled correctly. Hit next. It's going to go through a process. You'll see a set up your work account quick screen. It'll go more into checking info, and then you'll get this screen that says install MAS 360 MDM for Android. You're going to click install. It'll go through its process. Got a little progress bar. And once that's finished, you'll get a pop-up that says, do you want to install? Yes, we want to install. It'll sit on this downloading screen for just a few more moments. You'll go through this process, and then you'll get a screen that says encrypt the tablet. set up work device. To continue setting up your work device, you'll need to encrypt. You have to do this. There's no way around this. For the new tablets to work, you have to go through this process. So you'll click encrypt. You'll get this warning, encrypting your device will secure your accounts. That's what we want. You'll tap encrypt device. You'll get another confirm. There's an option at the bottom for fast encryption. We don't want to do that at this moment. Most of these devices are going to be encrypted for the first time, so we want to make sure every part of it gets encrypted. So leave that unchecked. Do not check the fast encryption option. Press encrypt device. You're going to get a lock that says encrypting. This process takes probably 6.5 to 7 minutes. So if you want to start on a different one while this process is going, or if you want to have a bunch of them lined up and doing them all at the same time, there is a little bit of downtime here. Our average is, like I said, between 6.5 and 7 minutes. And what it's doing is completely encrypting the hard drive. And for those of you that are interested, that means if somebody takes the hard drive out of these tablets and puts it into something else and tries to get data off of it, they won't be able to. After the encryption process finishes, you guys can feel free to unplug the device, but it does require you to be plugged up during that process. I think I mentioned that, but just to make sure, I wanted to reiterate that point. It has to be 80% or above battery, and the device has to be plugged up during encryption. All right, it will boot back up. You'll get a Wi-Fi screen. We're already connected. You should be as well, so we'll hit next. You'll have to agree to the terms and conditions, and then you're going to want to set up the work device. You'll click next. You'll have to consent, so check the little box, I consent. Click OK. It'll go through the process of setting up IBM MAS 360. All right, your first information that you're going to have to put in is your email address and a corporate ID. So your email address is always going to be your full Alacare email. I'm going to use mine. Corporate ID is going to be Alacare with a capital A. Uh-oh. Then you'll press continue. All right, so here you'll have to authenticate, and this is your network username and password, no Alanet, just your standard password. Once you put your password in, leave Alanet, that's the domain, leave that the same, press continue. You'll get a processing option. Give it just a few minutes. Sometimes this process will take, I've seen it take longer than others depending on your connection, if the Wi-Fi is good where you are or if the cell signal is good where you are, depending on what you're using. I have seen this process take longer in some situations, but give it just a few moments. You'll get some steps, accept the terms, set up the administrator process, configure. You're going to press continue. You'll have to check the little checkbox that says I have read and accepted the terms. Continue. Configure a Google account. All you need to do here is select continue. I have also seen this take, sometimes it takes a little bit to do this, sometimes it doesn't. If you get to this point and it takes longer than you think it should, usually I say if it takes longer than 2 to 3 minutes, and we may encounter this here, the easiest thing to do is hit the back button just once. Don't press it a bunch of times. That kind of acts like a refresh. You'll see the screen go dim, and I'll have to press the screen. That's just because I haven't set up the timer on the screen, and it'll dim every 30 seconds. We'll change that once we get to done configuring the tablet. But for now, if you see me move the screen, it's just to make sure that you guys can keep seeing the screen. All right, once you go through that process, it'll say finishing setup, validating Samsung Enterprise License. And as I mentioned before, if at any point this has taken an inordinate amount of time, like above 3 minutes usually, just go ahead and press that back button to do a little bit of a refresh. All right, you'll get this Samsung Knox privacy notice. That's okay. You'll have to hit the checkbox and agree to the terms and conditions. Confirm that. Finishing validating your Samsung license. Please accept. This is okay. That's okay. finishing setup. That's okay. We'll close that screen. Now, you'll get to this point. This is the IBM MAS 360 inside the application itself. As you'll notice, it's dropping applications down. You've got email, calendar, contacts, your app catalog, which tells you what apps are approved for you to download. Documents is where all of the documents that clinical staff require from us, we'll push those down. They'll live there. Browser is a secure browser. You'll have access to AlloCare Central inside the branch for now only. We're working on getting you guys access to AlloCare Central out in the field. That is not ready yet. The settings button has a little notification on it. No worries. We'll go through that in a second. If you'll notice up at the top where normally the battery symbol and the service bars and the time and all that stuff, it's blank for now. If you try to do anything, it's kind of frozen. Don't panic. Don't keep pressing buttons. Just kind of let it do its thing for a moment. What it's doing is dropping down applications, dropping down security policies, dropping down password policies. So if you don't, that stuff will go away. But be patient. Like I said, don't get click happy on us. Just give it a moment to do its thing, and it'll come back. It should flash like that when it's done. If you get this, since we've already done this, and I have seen this happen before, and I'm glad that it did on the video. See, all of our status bar has come back. We've got this. That screen went away. That's exactly what I wanted you to see. If that happens and you get back to that screen, don't click next in a hurry. Just kind of let it do its own thing. So now, the first thing it's going to ask you to do is set a password. So you're going to click on Change Device Passcode. You have to do a PIN. So one of the new things that we're going to be doing with the tablets is right now there is a standard password for the tablets. That's a huge no-no, so we've got to get away from that. Every clinician will come up with their own password. We ask that you not use a standard password. We will be able to see these passwords, so if you all use the same password, we'll be able to tell that. A good thing about this is if a clinician comes in, puts in a password they don't remember, IT has the availability to reset that password. All you'll need to do is put in a ticket or call the help desk, and we can get that taken care of pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and put in a password so we can get that out of compliance error cleared. I'm going to put in today's date, which is 04/05/19. That's 6. That's 6. You only have to have 5, so don't worry about it if you only have 5. But this is going to be unique per clinician. You can click Done after you've put your password in. Now, if you do not do that, IT will go, or everyone that's on the email for IBM MAS 360 will be notified that you did not set your password and your device is out of compliance. I'm pretty sure if you do not comply with the policies, your device will be factory reset. You don't want that to happen because you'll have to go through this entire process again. So make sure you put in that 5-digit password. Make sure it's unique to each clinician. Like I said, we can reset it. You'll see we got a little arrow up here that's showing something's downloading. That's the applications. If you just saw that, that's the MAS 360 Docs, MX Player. PointCare is already installed. So it's actively working right now. So you'll have to give it a little bit of time because we have quite a few applications that we push down. Now at this point, you can press the home screen to get out of that. You'll notice we've got an AlloCare wallpaper. Everything's kind of scattered right now. Don't worry about that. We're going to fix it as soon as all the applications finish downloading. We'll leave it up and running for a little bit. The new Docs application is there. I'll show you that. I'll show you email. We've got a brand new email system. No more Touchdown. Touchdown is gone. We've got a secure browser that we can use. You can still get to Google if it's required. If you need Chrome or if you need Firefox, it's still on the device. However, we ask that you use the secure browser if at all possible. We tested it with Relias. It works inside Relias, so that's a benefit to it. I'm going to go ahead. While all of this is working, I'm going to go into settings. And I'm going to change the display setting so it'll quit going to sleep on me. And you'll just click display. You'll go to screen timeout. We're going to choose 5 minutes. And you can go back. Now it won't go to sleep on me. So we can pull this down and we can watch. And it will take a little bit of time for all the applications to download, but at this point, you're really done putting in the majority of information. It'll ask with your MAS 360 new mail app, it will ask for your password on that, so you'll have to put that in. I'll do that in a moment and I'll show you what it looks like. But we'll just we'll let it run and we'll let it do its thing. This will go faster if you're on a better connection. If you're on our Wi-Fi, we do limit the bandwidth on that. If you're on cellular, it might actually be faster, but we do prefer you to do it on Wi-Fi. Okay, it looks like everything has finished installing on the tablet. So we'll go through a few quick things here. So we'll go ahead and set up email. So the first time you log into email, you will be required to put in your password. This is your network password, and you can leave that sync accounts to device checked. The cool thing about the MAS 360 app is it looks a lot like Google Mail to me, or Gmail. A lot of you already have Gmail. All of your contacts that you have set up in Outlook come down to the tablet. Everything in your calendar that you've set up, or meetings that you've accepted an invitation to, will all show up in your calendar. You can allow that. That just allows it to access your contacts. If you've created contacts in Outlook that are custom and that aren't Alacare employees, it will pull those down. And here's your email. So new emails show up in bold. If you look, you can press the menu button. All of your folders that you have created ever with Alacare that you get when you log into the desktop are there. So you have access to all those folders. But what you see from the beginning is just your inbox. There's no more, as you office managers know, you used to have to put in a long code for the license key for Touchdown. We don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to go in and configure any settings right now. We can control all of that on our end. So basically, once the user puts their password in, their email is good to go. You can create an email if you need to. Just click this little pencil down here. You can compose your message, attach files, and then you can send it to whoever. And that's basic email. We're going to come up with another tip sheet for that if you need it. We just wanted to do a quick overview. So what we'll do is we'll go back. So we can check. Now we've got docs. And again, this is primarily for clinicians with, they push down hospice guidelines and I think a phone number for secondary languages, mug books. So all of that, everything will live inside docs. Anything we need you to get will live inside docs. So once here, you'll go to corporate. You have two options. IT is for us. Don't worry about IT. Alacare Files is where everything lives for the field staff. So interpretation services is there. Everything that you need, your mugs, everything is there. It will take just a moment for all of those to install, but once it does that one time, it doesn't have to do that anymore. So you'll never have to wait again. We'll go back. Like I said, IT files are for IT. Don't worry about that. We'll go back. So once everything is finished and you're still at this point, you can press the home button and you'll get this option. And what you're going to do is Nova Launcher, click desktop setup. You're going to go into your docs, corporate. I know I told you to not go into IT, but you can for the first time. And what you're going to do is, usually there might be several versions here. I'm going to try to keep this clean. This is desktop configurations for the tablet itself, and all that means is we're going to set each tablet up to look exactly the same. So no matter, if a nurse changes hands, the way the tablet looks will always be the same. So whichever one you see on here has the latest date, you're always going to choose the one with the latest date. So I've got one from today, which is 4/5. You'll get this option, restore backup. You click OK. Give it just a moment. There it goes. So now you've got the application set up exactly how we've set them up. You've got your wallpaper, which has the help desk phone number on there if you ever need us. We'll go into the browser so you can see the browser. It'll take a moment to do this the first time while it's configuring. Now, this is to get into AllaCare Central. If you need to get to AllaCare Central to do something from there, you can put your username and password in. If you don't, you can click cancel, no big deal. Press this button. This is your kind of like a bookmark bar. Press here and go to a different website. Pulls Google up. Again, if you can, we'd like for you to use the secure browser because everything about it is so secure versus Firefox or Google Chrome. We've got bookmarks here. You can create your own bookmarks if you like. We're also going to provide you with some corporate bookmarks. So as you can see, AllaCare Central pulls up. If you need access to anything that's only only on AllaCare Central, you can get to it. You can only get to this from the branch. This will not work at this time outside of the branch. So just try to remember that. If you're out in the field trying to get to AllaCare Central, this won't work. But if you are at the office and you need something on AllaCare Central, you don't want to log onto a computer, you can get to it from here. But that's the gist of it. We're going to hold 2 meetings next week, as you guys know. Everybody is going to be required to do this. If you don't do this, we'll give you guys an end date. If you don't do this, your tablet will stop working. So we think everybody's going to enjoy this. It's certainly easier for IT to administer. We got new email. It should be a faster process once you guys get it down pat. And we hope everything is a smooth transition in the next few weeks. And I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much.